Dr. Suarez. As a soon-to-be alumnus of Orange Coast College, I am pleased to be able to present the 2023 Orange Coast College Alumni Hall of Fame inductee. Patric Warburton has had extraordinary success as an actor, producer, and entrepreneur. I would like to share some highlights of Patric's performances over the years.
Hello and welcome to Soaring. My name is Patric and I'll be your chief flight attendant today.
David, I don't think we should see each other anymore.
You gotta be kidding, how come?
You're a face painter.
Yeah, that's right.
Look, I need your help tonight, please. This has to go really well for me.
And you shall have my help, because you're my beautiful flower.
You know what?
Right, we're gonna break out of here. We're gonna get past these guards.
Well, I got an idea. It won't be pretty, but bear with me.
I know. He's
Yours again.
Paper beats rock.
No, it doesn't. Rock beats everything. Why do you even play paper? You should play rock. It's the best one.
Well, Destiny honks the horn and gotta go. To the city.
Who was that blue stranger?
He was the Tick.
One more time, guys. Patric, it is my honor to welcome you to the Orange Coast College Alumni Hall of Fame and have you share your thoughts and experiences about your OCC experience here with my fellow graduates.
Thank you so much, and how about another big hand for Nancy, what an amazing person and mom. Very impressive. This will somewhat be the polar opposite of that. There's a llama up there. Did you guys get that from me? This guy. Thank you. Thank you. Well, I'm very honored. You know, I went to school here at Orange Coast College in '83. But before I came here, I graduated from Newport Harbor High School. And I knew there'd be a lot of you here. By the way, congratulations, Pirates. The Pirates forever. It's in your DNA now. Well, I graduated from Newport Harbor. Our commencement speaker was a gentleman who created Hobie Cat Industries. And as he spoke to my graduating class, he said, if y'all want to just take a year off and kick it around Hawaii, you can do that. I did it. I'm a millionaire. I believe there was a collective gasp with all the parents there. So. Tonight will be much worse. I failed out of Orange Coast College. And I'm sorry. I should have said something earlier, but I've never gotten an award for anything. I was very excited, and so I'm just messing with you. I know everybody expects me to be a little stupid. I did actually fail out of Orange Coast College. That is true. But these fine academics knew. I told the nice lady from the college, Liz, I said, you know I didn't finish. And she said, we know that. And then I said, your alumni pool must not be that deep this year. And she said, nothing. I'll do it. So I'm honored. I am terribly honored. I really am truly honored. I feel less deserving of this award than Martha Stewart getting the cover of Sports Illustrated Sun City. I said less deserving. As a fabulous woman. Cancel. Look, outside of falling asleep in most of my auditorium classes, I did have a foundation building experience here, mostly due in part to crew. It was the best team sport involvement I'd ever had in my life. It was due to the great guys on the team, the great guys in my boat, and most importantly, our legendary coach, Jim Jorgensen. And, you know, when you row, and this is my excuse for failing out, when you row, for 2 hours in the morning, and then you wander on campus in sort of a haze of exhaustion and endorphins, and you've not yet discovered that superfood polyphenol-rich miracle beverage coffee, you tend to nap. And I fell asleep in all my classes. I fell asleep in astronomy, which I found fascinating. I fell asleep in Mona Coates' sex ed class, which I found even more fascinating. But I lost my virginity at Orange Coast College, but that's a long story. Actually, probably a very short story. I was no expert in that department. But, you know, about 20 years ago, I found myself feeling very grateful. I was managing to make a living and support a family of 6, and I was thinking about and contemplating, and I wanted to thank the important men in my life that were of great example, the ones that guided me, those that were mentors outside of my father, and there were only 2. There was a writer-director and acting coach, dear friend of mine, David Baird, and the other was Jim Jorgensen, my crew coach. So I contacted Jim, and I just wanted to let him know the impact that he had on my life. And he had it on all of ours. I think a great coach is much more than a coach. He is a mentor. And he had great perspective, and he taught us so much in all of his, you know, simile and metaphor and rowing that played into everyday life and who we would be, and just the amount of respect that we had for that man. It was pivotal, and it meant something very, very important to me. So he had me then come speak at Orange County, at an Orange Coast fundraising event for the crew. And then as a gift, he gave me the paddle from his oar, which certainly I didn't feel deserving. I infamously caught a crab in the Newport Regatta, which is really, it's hard. Failure is tough to live with, but I'm here to tell you that we fail. You know, all of you are going to go out into the world, and you're going to make a difference, and don't be afraid to fail. You know, I have failed and accidented my way into some pretty wonderful things, and we all fail. But he gave this to me, and it's fantastic. It's made out of wood. I don't even think they had fiberglass invented back in the day. It was probably handcrafted on some Dracula island out there by the UK, but it's just absolutely stunning. It's beautiful, and it's right in the middle of my dig me wall at my bar. I didn't know what a dig me wall was until Dave Henderson, an ex-pro baseball player, told me, because I have a picture of him with me on that bar. The bar is the last bastion for a man. It's just like, this is my place, and you know, my kids and their friends might commandeer and do whatever they want, but it's all my stuff. And so I asked Dave, I go, what's a dig me wall? He goes, I want to make some drinks. Why don't you dig me for a while? So that's what a dig me wall is. We put all these special pictures up there. Right in the very center of that dig me wall is that oar that Jim gave me. And it's really my most prized possession. You know, next to pictures of Eddie Vedder and Jerry Cantrell. I'm dropping a little bit here. I had very religious parents. My father, God love him, was not okay with me failing. He was a surgeon, his mother was a nurse, his father was a surgeon. Very religious parents. My father was in the monastery for 3 months. He was in Gethsemane in Tennessee. His spiritual advisor was Thomas Merton, who's a very famous Catholic scholar. He did mass one time with Padre Pio, who's the last ordained saint to have the stigmata. My mother was even worse. My mother let me know at the tender age of 10 that she'd given me to the Lord and that I was going to be a Catholic priest. Okay, you don't do that to kids. That's how serial killers are made. My mother walked around our neighborhood when I was 13 years old, passing out pamphlets on the sins of masturbation. So that didn't get me in with the cool kids. But imagine the guilt I felt when you know what I'm talking about. I'm pretty good at reading people. Don't be embarrassed, we all do it. Not as much as you, but we all do it. I owe you a beer. I'm buying you a beer after this. I think it was this challenging upbringing that created the impetus for me to have worked so very, very moderately, so that I might one day make it to the middle, where people know my face and voice, perhaps, and not my name. Mission accomplished. I do a lot of voiceover work, I would have to say, as a voiceover artist. My 3 favorite voiceover artists of all time, Mel Blanc, Joss Hawkins, and of course the great John Wilkes Booth. Ah, you're educated. See, we think of him as just an actor. But he was also a voiceover artist. Not in cartoons, obviously. They didn't have those back then, but in puppet shows. There's no actual recording of his voice because they didn't have anything. They had that cylinder that you would turn, and I'm not here to give a history lesson. Those are my 3 favorite voiceover artists of all time. My parents are very religious. My father, he took me down to USD to meet the Dean of Admissions. Showed him my paperwork from OCC. And the Dean looked... The Dean looked at my paperwork and just said, he looked at my father and me and said, you'd have to start all over. Well, my dad and I both knew that wasn't going to happen. We got in the car. It was the most quiet, painful car drive ever. Sitting about an hour and a half from San Diego to Huntington Beach. I broke the silence after about half an hour with, Dad, it's okay, I'm going to be an actor. And went right back to being silent. We could have been driving to Missouri. It was the longest, most painful drive ever, but very religious. You're all out here and you're going to create your own paths. We love our parents. We respect them. They've given their whole lives to you, and they will worry about you till the day they die. It's just the way it is, you know. But you're individuals, so you're all going to make your own decisions, and so make sure that the decisions that you make right now and what you study and what you pursue is what means so very much to you, because you know, we are individuals and we have to decide, and it might sound elementary, but it's a struggle at times. And it really is with your parents. It's very much a struggle. My parents, so religious, they have disapproved with almost everything that I've ever done. For 20 years, they begged me to get off of Family Guy because they actually believe that it's blasphemous. I kind of get what they're saying. I see it for what it is. It's satire, and I believe that we need satire. We need to be able to laugh. Satire is a comedic form as old as time. We have to be able to laugh with each other. We have to laugh at each other. We have to be able to laugh. And but they've never been pleased with anything, and so I've had to be okay with things because I know that, you know, morally, and even though I see things differently in the realm of spirituality and whatnot, it still has an effect on you. They weren't happy at all when I did that movie Ted, and I don't know if any of you saw that. My mom's like, "Are you playing gay again?" I said, "Mom, they're everywhere. Get used to it." And I'm kissing this guy. Ryan Reynolds. By the way, the guy I kissed Mom, he's a billionaire. Ryan Reynolds. I kissed Ryan Reynolds in Ted. Jealous? Not of me, but of Ryan. I don't think anybody ever went up to Ryan and said, "You get to kiss Patric Warburton, that's awesome." But, so I kissed him, and it was hotter than I thought. Not hotter, it wasn't as gross as I thought. As gross as I thought it'd be. The best part about it was that I actually got to take him off of my daughter, off of her top 10 list, because that's something that I observed that 17-year-old girls do. They sit around a table writing names of all the boys they want to kiss, and not solving the problems of the world. But it's very powerful information for a father to have. When you kiss a guy, he is no longer hot. So, I've threatened her with Chris Helmsworth. She said, "You're not working with him." I said, "I'll find out where he drinks. It won't be a problem." I've got him. We live in an interesting time today. You know, I think social media is a huge disruptor. And does anybody here remember Blackout Tuesday? Come on, you were all on Instagram before you were on TikTok. Blackout Tuesday was on Instagram. It was shortly after the George Floyd tragedy. So everybody posted, instead of their normal stuff that day, just a black square. That was it. So I did that, and somebody weighed in on my Instagram and said, "Way to go, Patty, you just ended racism." And that made me feel good. There was something about, I kind of wanted to weigh back in and say, no, really just a show of solidarity. We're all here together, just a show of solidarity. I would hope that going to the Congo on hearing aid missions is more of an effort, or different parts of Africa with World Vision is more of an effort, or starting an event for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital 13 years ago based upon the foundation of helping every child of every race and color and eradicating catastrophic disease is more of an effort, which for the last 10 years has been the #1 event in the nation for St. Jude. But then I'd be bragging on the internet, and I'm not going to do that. I just bring it up. Everybody's really it seems these days, quick to accuse, quick to criticize, and we all have to be, just supportive, because everybody does what's in their capacity, what they can do to help, and if you have an opportunity, you do it, and that's all. And that's, it's a great place. We're a great country. We have a lot of love, and we've been, a bit divided, it seems late. So I just feel like we all need to just love and care about each other and be more tolerant in many ways. And I do love to bring up St. Jude. Hey, if any of you are inspired, go out and work for St. Jude. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, when they opened their doors, the cure rate for leukemia was 4%. It's 94% now. Their overall cure rates have gone from 20 to 80%, mostly in part due to what St. Jude Children's Research Hospital has done. They're non-proprietary, so they share everything that they have with the rest of the world. They make their own medicine because Big Pharma is corrupt. And it's really, truly, when you talk about just a great model for all of us to look at. I tell you all this stuff, and just to get back, in regards to what we all have to do is make our own decisions and make them intelligently, and thoughtfully. And because I never did that. I mean, my whole life has been less than traditional. My proposal to my wife was anything but traditional. We were dating. I was living in LA. She was in Huntington Beach, and I got caught. And we kind of had it out. That created quite a situation. And she said, "You don't take this relationship seriously. You don't care." And I said, "Why don't we just get married?" I mean, it was half a bluff. And she called me on it. And she said, "Really?" And I said, sheepishly, "Yes." And she called our priest, Father Vince at St. Simon and Jude in Huntington Beach. He said, "We just had Valentine's Day weekend open up. Very coveted slot." She said, "We'll take it." We've been married for 32 years. We got 4 great kids, 4 stupid dogs. We're still here. That woman has had a lot to deal with over the years. I love her dearly, and she's wonderful. Hey, here's some positive stuff I've seen on the internet. Gratitude's a superpower. We could either be miserable or happy. It's going to take just as much effort to do both, Congratulations. I envy all of you. You're at such a great place and time in your life. I miss the 80s. I miss Orange Coast College. Godspeed. I feel very blessed and honored to be probably the only alumni of the year who didn't make it. I didn't fail. But much love and success, and truly am honored to stand here before you. And I know that you're all going to be responsible for so many great things. And be careful. Do be careful, because as I said, your parents are going to worry about you every day of their lives. And always remember that, you got to be well versed in all the woodland creatures, not just the squirrels. I love you all.